Good evening. A group of Kangaroo Valley students had taken a shuttle bus up to the landslip site on Barrengarry Mountain early this morning to finally get back to school. They then walked around 20 metres past the landslide to catch another bus to get them to school in Moss Vale and Barrel. It comes after Transport for New South Wales carried out stabilisation works on Moss Vale Road. Illawarra Shoalhaven paramedics have joined their New South Wales counterparts in taking industrial action for 24 hours. They're calling for improved emergency responder staffing and pay. Labor's health spokesperson Ryan Park says the state's ambulance service was under enormous strain. And the former General Manager of Wollongong Council, Rod Oxley, has died at the age of 74 in hospital after suffering a medical episode earlier this month. In 2000, Rod was awarded the Public Service Medal for outstanding service to government and the community. Hello again. Police have today charged a man in his 60s over the murder of Bernard Bernie Williams near Bacchus Marsh in 1984. Police believe several people were involved in the execution-style murder after Bernie's body was found tied up with a number of gunshot wounds. Detective Senior Sergeant Paul Scarlett says the 25-year-old victim was in the prime of his life with a young daughter and a well-known place in the Melton Football Club. A 29-year-old Wendouree man has faced court over a crime spree from Ballarat to Ballin. It's believed he stole a car during a burglary at a business on Creswick Road. That car was then used in another nearby burglary where the suspect stole a truck. The truck was then found burnt out in Invermay about an hour later. The other car was seen driving erratically through Ballin, where police were able to deflate his tyres and arrest the driver. Showers expected for Casterton. Good evening. There's been a spectacular development in a cold case murder mystery. Police charging a man in his 60s over the murder of Bernard Bernie Williams nearly 40 years ago in the Macedon Ranges. Police believe several people were involved in the execution-style murder of Mr Williams, whose body was found shot dead and tied up in bushland. Detective Senior Sergeant Paul Scarlett says the 25-year-old victim was in the prime of his life with a young daughter and a well-known place in the Melton Football Club. Students in Bendigo will soon have access to an extra 10,000 free TAFE positions following a $61 million investment. The focus will be placed on in-demand jobs like healthcare, hospitality and early childcare. And the Bendigo Visitor Centre has taken silver at the Australian Tourism Awards. 31 and partly cloudy expected for Birchip tomorrow. There'll be more from the newsroom soon. Good evening. Police need help in locating a car stolen from Canberra South. A white Porsche Turbo similar to the one in this photo was taken early yesterday morning from Hughes. The thieves broke into the home and stole other items as well as the vehicle. It has distinctive black bumper guards on the four doors and the number plate has Turbo on it. The ACT government is committing $156 million to a new school in Belconnen and two major upgrades to schools in the south. A zero-emissions primary school and early childhood centre will be built at Strathnan to cater for the growing population. The package is part of the government's mid-year budget review. And in a massive blow to the Raiders, Josh Hodgson has suffered a season-ending injury with the hooker playing his last match for the Green Machine. Hodgson now needs a knee reconstruction after suffering the injury in round one. He'll be moving to the Eels next year. Good evening. A 47-year-old man has died in a motorcycle crash in Willing South. Emergency services were called following reports a vehicle had crashed into a scrubland along the Highland Highway. He was found dead at the scene. The exact circumstances surrounding the crash are yet to be determined. A multi-million-dollar hot spring in Meethung is set to create dozens of jobs, helping to revive the East Gippsland visitor economy. Nestled on the foreshore of Lake King, the springs will offer a front-row view of one of Gippsland's most scenic locations. It's expected to help boost tourism throughout Orbost, Hazel and Bairnsdale. It follows the success of the Mornington Peninsula Hot Springs. And Captain Australia has officially left Gippsland. He's already made it to his final destination, having raised just over $160,000 for the Kids Cancer Project. His walk took him across 3 states. Hello again. A group of homeowners are calling on Central Coast Council to scrap their seawall plan for Womberal Beach. Owners Against the Wall says building a seawall would destroy the beach for future generations. In 2020, beachside properties along the shore near the beach were on the brink of falling into the ocean after days of big swells. Former NRL star Jared Hayne will face a year-long wait for his third sexual assault trial after a judge refused his application for the proceedings to be held in Newcastle. The 34-year-old was jailed last year for at least 3 years and 8 months over an incident in Newcastle in 2018 before being released in February. His trial will be held in Sydney next year. And more than $49,000 has been awarded to the Country Women's Association Umina Beach branch. The funds will go towards building a ramp and an accessible toilet.